What makes someone memorable? Is it the skills they possess or their accomplishments? Or is it how they affect the lives of others? What would you be remembered by if you died today? My name is Narissa Harrison. I'm an entrepreneur and an artist. Also a full-time student, a mother of 2 young adults, and a wife celebrating 10 years of marriage to my best friend. I'm always working on many different projects at once, and I rarely hire somebody to do something I can do myself. Partially because I'm poor, but mostly because I'm frugal. At the moment, I'm renovating 2 houses with my husband and creating functional art out of my basement, while dealing with multiple health issues and taking classes full-time at Pitt State. I've always known I wanted to work for myself, and I spent years learning business law and accounting so I could understand every aspect of being a small business owner. I currently have several businesses: A&N Properties, Notion by Narissa, Harrison Glassworks, and soon Neody Arts. A&N Properties is a partnership I started with my husband. We buy properties at tax auction and renovate them. Then we either rent them out or sell them, depending on how much they're worth and where they're at. We've already successfully flipped several houses, and I'm hoping that 615 North H Street will be on the market by July 2020. We also have a storefront in Neody that we plan to make the new home for Neody Arts with art studios and gallery space. Notions by Narissa is my oldest company. I started it 8 years ago after a gift of a pottery wheel and a kiln. Now I throw, manipulate, and carve porcelain into flower bowls and mugs, and then I glaze and fire them in my studio. With COVID shutting down art shows and art supply stores, I currently am only selling on Facebook until my storefront gallery space is ready. I started Harrison Glassworks with my dad several years ago. I've done several installations in renovated houses, but I also make sun catchers and other decorations that I take with me to the art shows. I love to make my own patterns so that my pieces are unique, and we've had great feedback. I just need some more paying customers. Neody Arts is my next big goal, and my end goal really. I want to make a place where artists can come together and create with all the supplies and knowledge they need, and plenty of space and encouragement to create masterpieces. Once the storefront is fixed, needs some floor work and renovation, I need to make an order list for equipment and inventory. I'll need to come up with project ideas for classes and workshops and figure out how much I'm going to charge for those, as well as how much I'm going to charge for memberships. As a part of my Pitt State degree, I coded the Neody Arts website from scratch. It's pretty well done, but still has a couple minor glitches that I need to fix before I go live. I'm really excited for Neody Arts and what it'll bring to the community. I plan to make it a nonprofit so that we can take donations and put together scholarships and grants for the local artists. Originally, we were going to have the grand opening July 4th, 2020, but with all the craziness of 2020, we've decided to postpone till next year, July 4th, 2021. Health is always an issue for me. I had my first seizure when I was 15, and I still don't have a diagnosis for that. I started out on a very low note. At 17, I was pregnant and homeless, facing my senior year of high school with very little prospects. I lived in poverty and domestic violence the next 8 years until I met my current husband. Just last year, I was diagnosed with Hashimoto's thyroiditis, which is an autoimmune disease that attacks your thyroid. I was told that autoimmune diseases come in groups, so they did more tests and found Addison's disease, which is pretty much my body can't handle stress. Woohoo. Also inflammatory bowel disease, which, trust me, you don't want the details on, and reactive hypoglycemia. This year, I also developed intrapathic arthritis and vitiligo. With all of my new diagnosis, I still have no idea why I have seizures. My chart simply says non-epileptic grand mal seizures, which means I don't have epilepsy and I just flop around for some reason. And this year I've developed a newfound sympathy for old people. My arthritis had a very rapid onset. I went from being a pottery wheel master to not being able to grip anything with my hands. It took weeks of medicine before I was able to snap again. And in that time, I had to rely on others for opening bottles and cutting my food. I even cut all my hair off because I couldn't hold a hairbrush. I realized that not every entrance has a handicap accessible door, but they should. My life has had many ups and downs, but I'm happy to have found my purpose in creating art and empowering artists. And I can't wait to start my journey with Neoti Arts. Better late than never.